Hey guys, Nurse Deer Bear here again. So we're going to be doing a subcutaneous heparin injection and mixing from an ampule today. So again, just like we always do, we're doing our 6 rights. Right patient, right drug, right dose, right time, right route, and right documentation. And like we do with everything, we wash our hands. Wash, 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 wash. Okay, let's go check out the MAR. So we're going to check our orders and also check them to the MAR on the computer as well. So according to the orders that Dr. Jumpy wrote, we're going to give heparin 5,000 units subcutaneous every 12 hours for 3 days, and our heparin ampule is a 10,000 units per milliliter. Okay, so the supplies we're going to need for this: gloves, like always, rubbing alcohol swabs, a 27 gauge with a 1/2 inch needle. We have our filter needle, our ampule of our heparin, and some gauze pads. Okay, so now we got our ampule. We got to make sure we get all this medication out of the top here. So how we're going to do that is like you can see on here, right now there is no medication at the top, but sometimes ampules come and there's medication trapped in there like that. So we got to get that out of there. So a good, easy way to do it is grab it and just go flick it. Snap your wrist. See? Now all of it's out of there. Okay? So we're going to put our gloves on. Grab one more glove real quick. And we're going to use an alcohol swab that's still in the wrapper. This is how we're going to snap the ampule off, okay? So I'm going to take the alcohol pad, I'm going to wrap it around the ampule. And we want to snap it at that blue line that's on here. So the blue line's right here. You can kind of see that, but right there. So we're going to wrap our alcohol pad around there, and we're going to break away from us. So because we don't want to get it, because this is glass, so we could get some of these shards on us or somebody else, so we want to do it away from people, okay? So holding it like this, cover your eyes, okay? I'll do it away from you. And you're gonna snap it away. Just like that, okay? So now we have our ampule that's got the snapped top, and we're going to put this into the sharps container because that is broken glass and we do not want that to cut someone else, okay? So now we have our syringe that we're going to open carefully, and when we open it, we are going to keep this needle in there so that we can use that again later. So we got to be really careful to unscrew it and pull that out. And we're gonna leave this in there for just 1 second, and then we're gonna open up our filter needle, and we're gonna insert there. So now our filter needle's on there, and we have our old needle still in the package where it's nice and safe and we know where it is, okay? So again, we're doing 5,000 units of heparin on this one. So you start thinking to yourself, I don't have a 5,000 unit syringe. Well, remember, if we look at the medication, it's 10,000 units per mil. So if we do the math on that, we're going to set it up with 10,000 over 1 and 5,000 over x. We'll cross multiply them both, so then we're going to have 10,000 x equals 5,000. So we'll divide by the 10,000 on both sides, and we're going to get 0.5 milliliters is how much we're going to drop, okay? And there's 2 ways you can do this. You can do it with the ampule sitting on the table, like mine is right now, Or you can also, once you insert the straw, you can actually invert it because the negative pressure keeps the medication at the top of the ampule. Now, if you insert your filter straw too much and break that top seal, then you're going to lose your medication everywhere. So personally, I prefer to just leave it on the table and do it that way, okay? So again, we're gonna draw out, get all that extra air out of there. So with that, there's two ways that we can do this. We can do it with the ampule sitting on the table, or if you flip it over real quick, it'll actually have that negative pressure to keep the medication up in the ampule. And you want to make sure that you don't let your filter straw get to the top and poke that, because all your medication will go everywhere the second that happens, because it'll break that seal. So I personally like to just do it with it sitting on the table. That to me is easier, okay? So we're doing 0.5 milliliters. I want to make sure not touch the sides of the ampule when we're putting it in. Okay, so now we have our 0.5 milliliters and in our syringe, and we are going to have another nurse check this because this is heparin. We always want to have another nurse check this one, okay? So we're gonna take this straw, the filter straw off, and then we're going to put our original needle back on. Okay, so now we're good to go. So now that we've drawn that up, we're also going to drop that extra 0.2 milliliters of air. So that's in there as well. We've had this checked by a nurse. It's been co-signed. Now we are ready to go give it to our patient. Hi, Skip. It's Nurse Jerbear again. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing good. Just kind of bored.
I'm gonna wash my hands. Just like always. Remember, we always wash our hands before and after we do everything. Okay. Skip, can you tell me your last name and birthday for me again?
Skip Rocker, 1172.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. All right, so we're gonna be doing a subcutaneous heparin injection on this one, okay? So similar to how we were doing the subcutaneous insulin earlier, but this one we are gonna go at a 90-degree angle on you. And do you have any questions for me right now, Skip?
Let's just get it done.
Okay then, let's get started, my friend. All right, get some gloves on here. Skip, did you watch that football game last weekend?
Go Bobcats.
I know, that was an unreal game. That was nuts. Okay, so first thing I'm gonna do, Skip, is I'm just gonna clean the area on your abdomen here that we're gonna do it on. I'll let that dry. Skip, are you going home today?
If my mean old wife would ever show up.
Hey, don't say that about her. She's not that bad. Okay, so now it's dry. I have a gauze pad for afterwards, but I'm going to carefully remove the cap to my needle. And again, we're going to place this with the opening towards our dominant hand, just in case. But remember the rule. Once this touches a patient, It does not get recapped. That is the rule. Right, Skip? You're dang right it is, my friend. All right, so I'm going to be holding this in my dominant hand, and I'm going to pinch the skin up, and at a 90-degree angle, I'm going to insert it and insert the medication and that extra 0.2 mils of air as well. Okay, Skip, you ready? You're going to feel a little poke here.
You must be a pro, because I never ever feel you stick the needle in.
You remember to inject that one slow. You don't want to just slam it in there. And pull it straight out. And we're going to blot it with our gauze, any blood. Okay, and just like with all needles, unless it's an emergency, we're not recapping our needles. Goes into the sharps bin. Okay, now we're going to clean up. And then that is going to be good on that. Skip, you got any questions for me right now?
I think I'll just lay down and take a nap for a little while. Is that okay?
Okay, that sounds good. I'm gonna go. I gotta go document this in the MAR right now. Okay, so I'll be back in a little bit. If you need anything, you press your call light for me. Okay. All right, sounds good. And that is how we do the subcutaneous mixing ampules of heparin. And one thing you always want to remember is to not aspirate when you're putting that one in. Okay, and always your 6 rights. Making sure you have the right patient, right drug, right dose, right time, right route, and right documentation. So important to do that. All right, well, this is another one from Nurse Jer Bear. Thanks, guys.